Hello, thank you for watching another episode of Cooking with Gravy with Jason Graves. Today's recipe, we're going to make some banh mi sandwiches, also known as Vietnamese sandwiches. Now, today's recipe is going to be plenty of meat, plenty of flavor, and plenty of deliciousness. As my dad always told me, the reason it's going to taste great is because we make it with love here. Now, today's recipe is going to be divided into several different sections: meat, sauce, and other sections, and at the end we're just going to put it all together. We're going to start with some chopped up pork. We're going to have 1/3 cup finely chopped onions, 1/2 cup finely chopped water chestnuts, and if you do want to get a copy of the recipe, it is in the description section of the video, so please don't be shy looking at the video. And we're working on our cilantro. That one's going to be 2 tablespoons finely chopped cilantro. We have 1 teaspoon black pepper. Now, just to re-verify, in the video we are making a double batch today, but the letters that and the writing that you're seeing is representative of the actual recipe, but we're just making a double recipe today. We have 1/2 teaspoon of some salt we're throwing in there. We have 1/2 teaspoon sugar. We have 1 tablespoon cornstarch. We have 2 teaspoons sesame oil. We have 1/2 tablespoon soy sauce. I recommend probably a low sodium version. Now, for the cooking one, we have 1/2 tablespoon cooking wine. You can use regular Merlot or some sherry if you want. It doesn't matter. We have 1 egg we're throwing in there. And naturally, before you mix it, wash your hands just to make sure everything's all set at the table. Just dig in, mix it evenly. We just want all those tasty ingredients to be all mixed in one area. Now, since we are making these type of sandwiches, you don't want to make them too big because the meat's going to fall apart later on. So we also want to make sure it's cooked all the way through, and the meat will be spread evenly when it does fall apart. So that's why you just want to make sure they're kept small. Now, right now we're just throwing a little something extra for some extra flavor. We have some cut up pork already been marinated in some Chinese barbecue seasoning. We're just going to speed this part a little bit because we're just cooking it in the pan. Cook it evenly. Just try not to destroy it. Now, for these type of seasonings, I recommend, like most marinades, to try to marinate for a couple of hours before then, and try to cook at a lower temperature. Accidentally made this a little higher, so it makes it darker too quickly, and it can cause a little bit of burning in there. This is going to be the seasoning that we were working with. You could technically use whatever seasoning you want. Now, we're going to be in the sauce section of this video. Now, we're going to start off with 1 tablespoon of ketchup. We have some sugar in there. Now, we have 14.5 ounces of tomatoes and juice. Now, when we do put the tomatoes in there, shred apart the tomatoes, and if it has any type of stems on there, I usually take off the stems because naturally you don't want to eat that. We got some shallots we're throwing in there. Yeah, so you could substitute that with just regular green onions. And next we have some canola oil we're going to be tossing in there. You could use vegetable oil, whatever you want. Olive oil is just decently fine. We already have a cooking saucepan that we already threw these onions on there. The reason we're doing it this way is so you can get that little cooked taste of the onions. It's just one of those little extra things that just make it a lot better. Now we throw the sauce in there, we throw the cup of water in there. Now the reason we want to have a little water in there so it doesn't burn up. We're going to cook this at a medium temperature, try not to destroy it, for around 12 to 20 minutes. Now if the sauce isn't up on most of the meatballs, at least over 2/3 of it, add a little more water. It won't hurt anything. Now this is the final product right there of our meatballs and our sauce. Now you're also going to be needing your pickled carrots. Now the pickled carrots can be combined with pickled radishes. This is just more of a rough guide. We're going to use 1/2 cup finely julienned carrots. We have some cooking vinegar, which is 1/4 cup distilled cooking white vinegar. We're going to throw in there. It doesn't hurt to throw in a little extra because we're just going to be making some extra carrots. We do have an additional video that we did made on the distilling carrot part of this video that is going to be a little shorter if you just want a quick refresher down the road. It's actually a pretty good side to add with this. Now we're using something a little wider so we can add more and add extra if we wanted, and it's just a little easier to soak. We have 1 teaspoon kosher salt, and the reason that we're doing it this way is so it's just a little easier to soak and just mix. I just like it that way. And if you see in the background, yes, we are working with some cucumbers that have been cut into little shapes, so it's easy to put in a sandwich. Now we have 1/4 cup or less of sugar that we can put in there. Trying to add too much sugar, so just keep in mind it's mainly just the vegetable, vinegar, salt, and sugar. And if you want to have more of a visual of this, as I said, we have our own separate video, and we also have this written down in the description section of the recipe of the video. Mix well, let it sit in the fridge for about 20-30 minutes. Or, me personally, it doesn't hurt to even let it sit overnight so you get the extra flavor. Now, you could put a sandwich together any way you want. Now, I like to start off with the meatballs first. Now, the thing is, the nice thing about these meatballs is that they're soft. So that means we can crush them and we can distribute them a little more evenly. Now, these type of sandwiches range between different types. It's mainly just meat and nice fresh vegetables in there. So just enjoy, and if you want to add something extra. Now, what we're adding there, as I said earlier, is that we have some cucumbers we're just going to throw in there. And my personal favorite, some sriracha mayo, which is good on everything. And we should be making a video on that down the road to make some homemade sriracha mayo. Now we got some nice little cilantro we're going to be throwing on top of there because we love our greens. And someone's wearing their slippers in the back of the video. It's my wife. The barbecue pork I usually like to throw on top so you can get that extra little quick visual. Carrots. Now anything that's brightly colored like orange, reds, or anything like that, always perfect on the top. And don't be shy taking advantage of that extra sauce for the meatballs. It's really good flavoring, so just throw all that on there and enjoy. Now I do hope you do like this video. Please leave a like or subscribe, and I do thank you very much for watching, and it tastes phenomenal. Thank you. Bye.